What up? This is Bar Judah. And this is Shed Some Light, where I give insight on things that ain't right, at least in my opinion. Mondays and Thursdays. Thank you for giving me a like, and don't forget to sub. Much love. Let's get into it. And here we go. All right, how you guys doing on today? I am Judah, and this is Shed Some Light. Today we're going to be talking about Joe Crystal, a good guy who did a good thing. Let's go ahead and get into it.
Why did you want to be a police officer?
It's all I ever wanted to do. Both my parents were New York City cops right here. Grew up in a law enforcement family. It's all I ever wanted to do. I just wanted to help people. I moved up the ranks extremely quick. When I was in the academy, I was in charge of my class. I was my class commander. Upon graduating, I received the Commissioner's Award for the trainee that exhibits the most leadership. I was the first in my class to make detective. It took me a year after I got out to make detective, and that was probably one of the most proud moments of my life. While I was there, I was working as a drug detective. Saw a guy selling drugs on the street. We went to stop him. The guy threw the drugs and ran. He was ultimately chased and kicked in the back door of a woman's home. Other cops went in and they were able to place the guy under arrest. We secured the drugs from that he had thrown that we saw him selling. You know, stuff like that in Baltimore, honestly, it happens every day. It's nothing that's out of the norm or necessarily a big thing. Unfortunate thing was that this guy kicked in the back door of a woman who was the girlfriend of another cop that I didn't know personally in a different part of the city, an off-duty cop. After he was placed in our transport wagon and sent down to the city jail, the sergeant spoke to the off-duty officer. They had some sort of communication, and the sergeant on the radio called the wagon back, brought the suspect back into the house, and they brought him into a back room where he was assaulted. Ultimately, I found out later on that he had his ankle broken, and he had also said that he was assaulted and beat. At that time, all I could think about was, that as cops, we needed to, police ourselves. I didn't want to be a part of that. I didn't become a cop to get justice. Street justice. I'm sorry. I became a cop to get real justice. And I spoke to my parents, who, like I told you, were both New York City cops that night, and I tried to report about, what had happened. I didn't want to be a part of that. What happened that night was wrong, no matter how it happened. If you had done that, if somebody else had done that, nobody would have even thought twice about taking you to jail. It's never okay to beat a handcuffed suspect. We're supposed to uphold the law. I tried to report it that night and was told that if I snitched about what happened, that it would be the end of my career. After that, it was like a roller coaster that I just couldn't get off of. I had to deal with, being called a snitch and a rat by sergeants and other officers. I had multiple times I called for backup, and nobody came to back me up, in dangerous situations, chasing a felony drug suspect. Nobody from my squad told me they didn't want to ride with me because I talked about what had happened. I had a sergeant call me and threaten me at my house and tell me I better pray to God I'm not the star witness. Somebody placed a dead rat of mine in my wife's car. It kept going even from there. I was moved around to the point where I didn't even know where I was supposed to be going to work. I didn't know where I was reporting on a daily basis. It just got to the point where I couldn't do my job. The badge I had didn't mean anything. I was being told, hey, for the next 12 hours, I need you to stare at this alley, and I need you to tell me, if anybody tries to rob or break into any of these houses, or stare at this trail and see if anybody comes up this trail for the next 8 hours. The badge didn't mean anything at that point because I wasn't in a position to help anybody because I just wasn't even being allowed to. So I ended up making a decision to leave the police department ultimately and give up my childhood dream of being a cop.
All right, so that was Joe Crystal, a detective formerly employed with the Baltimore Police Department, bullied and coerced to leave his job for standing up for right and righteousness. Let me go ahead and read this article. Let me switch the page over so you guys can go ahead and read it with me. Give me 1 second. Here we go. All right. There is tremendous pressure in policing. There is tremendous pressure in policing. You know what? I'm going in with my glasses on. did this the last time I was stuttering over my words. Wow, that is much better. I can see. There is tremendous pressure in policing a culture pressured to not expose fellow officers to either professional or physical threats. Seth Soden, an associate professor of law at the University of South Carolina School of Law, a former Tallahassee, Florida police officer, told the crime report. One second, let me scroll down here. Reporting on other cops is, in some sense, a betrayal of that culture. Imperative to support and protect each other. Other police officers are extremely insular. Police officers are an extremely insular group. They work closely with one another, and what they can often be. They work closely with one another, and what can often be a confrontational, adversarial, and legitimately dangerous work environment in a job where the man or woman next to you could be responsible for saving your life. It could be very difficult, if not impossible, to separate the character of someone who chooses to report misconduct of someone who will leave them in the lurch when their life is at risk. Let's stop on that for a second and let that sink in. Whistleblowers aren't just seen as stabbing other officers in the back. They're almost inevitably seen as potential physical threats to every officer, said Soden. So these guys equate doing the right thing far as, well, if I see you, hey bro, you see me, I'm over here, I'm drunk and I'm doing the 10, 15 miles over the speed limit down a school zone, and you pull me over, and just so happen because I have a badge and you have a badge, hey, don't cross that blue line, brother. Don't let just give me a warning and let me go home. Or I'm on the neck of an individual who is already handcuffed and on the ground, saying, I can't breathe. I just got to let you do that, or I'm going to lose my job. Where do we make the stand in doing right? At some point you got to be able to say to yourself, is my house, is my lifestyle worth a person's life? If it is, hey, that's on you. For me, I would have to say no. Nothing that I own, nothing about anything material or prestige or at the risk of being bullied or at the risk of being name called and everything is not going to deter me from doing good. The Bible says, don't grow weary in doing well. Don't grow weary in doing well. Don't grow doing and doing well. For in due season you should reap the harvest. Let me go ahead and read this one other thing for you guys real quick, and then we're going to get out of here. Thank you for giving me a little piece of your day today. Hope everything is going well for you. So as we just heard, Detective Joe Crystal was employed by the Baltimore Police Department, witnessed his fellow brothers in arms doing the wrong thing, and he decided to do the right thing and stand up for righteousness. This story is over 5 years old, you guys, but it is relevant to today. Police departments and all factions of local governments need to make a clean sweep of their precincts and departments from an outside source to weed out the bad seeds and the corruption. Someone once said, in order for evil to triumph, good men do nothing. So kudos to kudos to Detective Joe Cristo. Prayerfully, you continue to shed some light, and hopefully we were able to shed some light on today. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and thank you for being a part. If I didn't shed some light, hopefully you come back next time, and maybe we will. Be blessed.